Hi, this is Josh Emery with Relationship Architecture. This is blog number 2 of our 6-blog series on the first 6 sections of the marriage program. And last week we covered soil. That's the metaphor for a home, and talking about what's in the ground before a foundation is poured. Understanding your past and what you've brought into this marriage has a lot to do with what's going on today in your marriage. This week we're talking about our foundational components. So we're going to go through 5 foundational components. We're going to just cover one today, and that's communication. Obviously, communication is extremely important when we're talking about a successful and healthy relationship. If we don't understand one another, we don't feel respected, we don't feel heard, we can't feel close. We're not going to feel connected. So I'm going to cover 2 things that I feel like go a long ways in equipping you to have healthy communication. The first is going to be for the speaker. So the person who wants to convey a message to the other person, I want you to be conscious of your timing. So don't just spring something on your spouse or your partner when they're not expecting it. They have other things going on in their head or the other time of the day. Be conscious of timing. Also be conscious of your tone and your nonverbals. So is your tone of voice condescending? Is it sarcastic? Is it critical? Those are going to convey your message. About 93% of the message is conveyed through nonverbals and tone. So be conscious of what you're giving off, because it will be received and it will be felt. Those are tips for the speaker. For the listener, by far the most important is your ability to listen to understand. And we convey understanding most often by validating our partner. So by saying something like, it seems like what you're saying is you're frustrated with me that I didn't do a good job last night listening. The problem we have oftentimes is we end up defending ourselves, or we end up criticizing or clarifying what we feel like the facts were. And so guys typically get into the facts of the case. Like, well, that's not what I said. Actually, you said this and then I said this. Okay, maybe the facts were reported incorrectly, but validation can take care of almost all of it by just saying, I understand that you're upset, and leave it at that. Okay, but oftentimes we don't want to validate when we feel like we don't agree, because it seems like we're saying that we think they're right, and if we don't think they're right, we don't want to validate. But we don't feel understood, we don't feel heard. So, as a speaker, be conscious of your tone, your timing. As a listener, listen to understand what they're trying to say and validate that. Those two points will go a long way in establishing some healthy communication between the two of you. Check back next week. We're going to get into our 3rd blog. It's going to be another foundational component that we feel like is central to a healthy and sustainable marriage. Thanks for joining me. This has been Josh with Relationship Architecture.